Apologies. Give me 1 second. There we go. Paul.
Present.
Reed.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
Hagenbook.
Present.
Casemiro.
Present.
Callis.
Present.
Ariza.
Present.
Capanos.
Present.
Lim.
Present.
Pison. Sadvika.
Present.
Jane.
Present.
Sherman. Present. Smith. Danae Smith. Ali. D.
Present.
Malik. I'm sorry, Malik. Orwela. Hamid.
Present.
Kaufman.
Present.
Lich.
Present.
Metellus. McNulty.
Present.
Orcasa. Rose.
Present.
Troy Arnett. El Haq.
Present.
Fawcett. Rickett.
Present.
I am here. Escobar.
Present.
Macadia.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Wanjan. Hassanein. Phillips.
Present.
Green. Wynn.
Present.
Bonaventure. Perez.
Present.
Alcuda. Banesh. Candeloro.
Present.
Quartz.
Present.
Jones.
Present.
Leon. Matthews.
Present.
McRae.
Present.
Nursimadevra.
Present.
Renda.
Present.
Connolly. Simmons.
Present.
Teodorescu.
Present.
Varela.
Present.
Zivin.
Present.
Lipner. 44 out of 58.
All right. Smith,
Present and voting.
Senator Smith, present and voting, so noted at 7:03 p.m. Everyone take a look at last meeting's minutes. Is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? And then everyone take a look at today's agenda. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda? All right. Open forum. Is there anybody here to speak in open forum? Okay. You may come up whenever you're ready. And again, as we've already communicated, you will be adhering to a strict 5-minute guideline. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You start whenever you're ready.
Is it good? Good evening. My name is Uday Menda. I'm a current PhD student and former senator here in the 52nd session. First, I would like to thank you, the Senate President, and our Student Government President Lucy and Vice President Jarib for giving me this opportunity to speak here. Also, I would like to express my thanks to the UCF Police Department for keeping our campus safe. Before I talk on the topic what exactly I'm going to talk, I have 2 copies of I wrote hi. I just wrote hi on this. So I would like to pass these 2 hi statements to all the senators. Okay, I have only 2 copies. Now, did you observe what exactly I have done? Can anyone tell? I told I have 2 copies and I gave to those 2 senators, right? And they are passing around. And after that, what I have done? I put one thing here, right? Can anyone guess what exactly is that? No, right? But initially I told I have only 2, right? So you believed that I have only 2 high copies, right? Everyone believed only 2 because I trained your mind like an artificial intelligent robot. I have only 2 copies, but actually I cheated you. This is also the same copy. Okay, I cheated you. I have 3, not 2. So unless this person opens, only this person knows and I know what exactly that copy is. Now you don't need to forward that one at all. This is like just a fun activity. Mainly, I came here to tell when I followed the UCFs, if you see something, then say something, then we do something. I followed the first 2. If you see something and then say something. And then later on the 3rd phrase, we do something. Then what some of the faculty members are doing? Yes, we are doing something. What we do? We retaliate. I followed the UCF policy of if you see something, say something. When I saw something is not correct, one faculty member, giving respect to him, I'm not telling their names, I followed good faith policy and I written an email. That is what the email copies all there on your desks. On 11th of December. No one called me for any sort of an explanation. But on 20th of December, I got a retaliation email saying that whatever the comments made, those are egregious. If my comments are egregious, that is what I saw. That means the actions were egregious. Right? So the retaliation was started on a full scale, heavily. I was a PhD student in mechanical engineering. I graduated. I was a staff as a postdoctoral scholar. And now I am doing my second PhD in PhD finance. I have a lot of experience. Still, because of the kind of an retaliation, whatever they are doing, even I'm stressful. Imagine an 18-year-old kid who is a freshman or sophomore comes here. And if he sees something and he follows the say something policy, and again, any of the faculty member or professor or whomever it is, they started retaliating on him, then how can they handle that particular stress? So if anyone come up with a good faith policy and following the, if you see something, say something, they need to be under protection. There should not be any kind of retaliation taken on that particular person. If the retaliation is allowed, then there is no reason why that policy is there on the UCF pages. Then that has to be scrapped. So if you still want to have that policy of if you see something, say something, and then we see then we do something, then protect the people who follows the policy. So I mainly want to talk about that, mainly that policy, and I'm going through a lot of retaliation, and I would like to thank Judiciary Committee. They are trying to help me. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk. And my 5 minutes are done. And again, my heartfelt thanks to Lucy Blanco and Jarib and Senate President. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Anybody else here to speak in open forum? Seeing none, announcements from the student body president, President Blanco.
Good evening, Senate. I hope you all had a well-deserved break spent with family and friends. Since being back, I've been collaborating with Ali, our governmental affairs coordinator, to discuss Day at the Capitol plannings and overall organization for reintegration for our team as we kind of reassemble ourselves after the break. We've been having some great discussions on what's to come from us this semester, so I'm very excited. And as always, if you need anything from me or have any questions, please reach out. I wanted to give a quick brief update on our Division of Communications. So we have made the decision to not refill the Director of Communications position. Instead, we are reassigning all of those duties amongst the existing communications team. So Sarai, our Chief of Staff, will be assuming some of those positions, assuming some of those responsibilities, as well as our digital media coordinator, Gabby. The OPS and hours have been redistributed and allocated properly. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, moving on. I do have one appointment for Election Commission Seat 3. I'd like to appoint Kitan Owaleki Banjo. And that's it for me.
All right, any questions for the student body president? Chair Gaudio.
So since you are modifying the list of positions within your cabinet, will you be publishing the new list of all of the positions and the responsibilities, including the new delegations?
I can, if you'd like me to.
All right, any other questions for the student body president? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you.
Announcements from the student body vice president, Vice President Benitez.
Alrighty. Good evening, Senate. I hope everyone had an exciting and relaxing break. I've been telling everyone this week, but seniors, let's soak in this last semester because before we know it, we're going to be crossing that stage. So last week I wrapped up the final orientations of the spring semester where we showcase what student government does. Big shout out to our partners. They are not first year experience anymore. They're new student and family programming. So shout out to them. This week I helped out the director of student affairs, Burke Dume, start planning Universal Nights, which more information will be coming out very soon about that. Other than that, I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their week, and a reminder that we have Monday off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Any questions for the Vice President? Senator Hassanein.
President voting.
Senator Hassanein, President voting, so noted at 7:11 p.m. Senator Ali.
President voting.
Senator Ali, President voting, so noted at 7:11 p.m. Any questions for the Vice President? Seeing none, thank you. Comptroller's report, Comptroller Drinkwater.
Good evening. I hope you're all doing well and had a restful winter break. The ANSF Budget Committee was a success, and thank you to everyone who played a role in this process. I will be scheduling the remaining 2 SG Finance Office meetings soon, and I'm looking forward to working with the office over the next few months. If you're interested in serving as comptroller next year, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like to sit down and discuss the day-to-day responsibilities of this position. To conclude, the current CRT balance is $47,668.65 with a reversion rate of 0.73%. And the current FAO balance is $51,879 with a reversion rate of 0.76%. And I hope you all have a great weekend.
Any questions for the Comptroller? Seeing none. Are you also doing the AG report?
Yes.
AG report given by the Comptroller.
Hello, Senate. Happy New Year. I'm deeply sorry for not being able to be at our first session. It is the first week of the Florida legislative session, so I needed to be in Tallahassee this week for prior commitments and also work on my application to UCF's MPA program. Keep your fingers crossed for Jorge. I'm currently drafting my 17th Attorney General opinion response to a request from the last session. I also worked extensively over break to ensure our governing documents are up to date. There were over 60 pages of legislation to update, including a full overhaul of Title VI, election statutes. If you know anyone who plans to run for office, please inform them of the changes. Our statutes now reflect the enacted internal bills 5722 through 5730. Jorge will be in the office all day tomorrow, Friday, January 16th, and will continue working with the webmasters to advance the Microsoft Teams Student Government Drive transition for our documents and archives. Have a great weekend and do not hesitate to reach out.
Any questions that the Comptroller can answer? Seeing none.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Okay, Cabinet Forum, GAC, DeMarco.
Hi, Senate. I hope you all had a great break. This month, I've been working with GAP to finalize the legislation being brought to Tallahassee, as well as solidifying all of our day of logistics. We will be touring both the Florida Supreme Court and the Senate chambers in addition to our advocacy efforts. For those who are attending, just a reminder that we have our final prep session on Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here in the chamber. If you have any questions or need anything, please feel free to email me. And that's all.
Any questions for the GAC? Seeing none, thank you. Chief of Staff Pearson.
Okay. Hi, Senate. Happy New Year. Hope you all are well and your break was restful. I'm happy to announce that ELC is underway and we had our first meeting today. I'm continuing to support our cabinet in their events and their initiatives as well, while also taking up that communications side as well. And your support and attendance is always appreciated at our events. As always, if you need anything, you know where to find me. For communications needs, still reach out to that kind of middle person in your select areas. But obviously, I'm still here. Do reach out to the chief email instead of to the director of communications email, just so I can see it, because that's the one that I'm mostly checking through. But yeah, that's all for me.
Any questions for the Chief of Staff, District Pinos?
Within the SGLC program, are we going to expect the prior committees to keep on meeting, or are they going to stay in their leadership councils for the semester?
Yeah, so that expectation was set before we concluded the main SGLC program, that they are to continue to meet while they're in their councils.
Any other questions for the Chief of Staff? Seeing none, thank you. Senator Oriella.
President voting.
Senator Oriella, President voting, so noted at 7:16 p.m. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Coordinator, Coordinator Alaraj.
Hey everyone, I hope you had a great break and managed to stay healthy. I have a lot of exciting updates, so please listen carefully. First, we have our caucus takeover next Wednesday from 11:30 to 2 p.m. Please come out and show your support. Also, on Wednesday, the 28th at 12:30, after the day at the Capitol, Chair Mello and I will be hosting Nights Without Limits. I strongly encourage everyone to attend as this event is extremely important to me and to our IES and SAS communities at UCF. Finally, one of my biggest events, Cultural Fusion Fest, will be held on Tuesday, February 3rd at 5:30 p.m. If anyone here is a part of a cultural RSO and would like to perform, please let me know. Otherwise, feel free to attend to enjoy some free food and amazing performances. As always, if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Any questions for Coordinator Alaraj? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the Chief Justice Pizarro.
Good evening, Senate. Judicial Council had its first meeting yesterday in the Charge on Chamber. We discussed the goals and objectives for this upcoming semester and are excited to start the new year. The justices have also hit the ground running with serving on multiple formal hearing panels and assisting students with the student conduct and academic integrity process. One of the biggest goals of the branch this semester will be to host the Supreme Court of the University of South Florida and get to partner in our joint efforts and support the students at our universities. This will be the third year of our continuous partnership between the two institutions, so we're very, very excited to host them. Lastly, Associate Justice seat number 12, Victoria Lopez, has resigned from the judicial branch. She was an amazing justice, and we are so honored to have her serve on the council for a year and a half. We will miss her dearly and appreciate all that she has contributed to the council over the years. Also, shout out to Associate Justice of November, Samantha Nero, and Associate Justice of December, Victoria Lopez.
Any questions for the Chief Justice? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the Supervisor of Elections, Supervisor Presley.
Good evening, Senate. I hope everyone has had a good break and a good first week back. The Election Commission had its first meeting this Monday. Our committees met this week as well. All meeting dates and times and locations are available on the UCF website if you're interested in joining. Additionally, we had 2 of our committee chairs step down over break, so we elected new ones on Monday to fill those spots. Commissioner Aguiar has filled the role of the chair of Legislative Precedent and Rules Committee, and Commissioner Orellana has filled the role of the chair of the Culture and Experience Committee. We also look forward to welcoming our new commissioner next week upon their confirmation, ENA and Senate. Regarding election stuff, candidate applications, petition forms, and candidate aid forms opened this Monday. And just a quick shout out to the communications team for their help with the Instagram posts. These forms are all available on the Election Commission's Night Connect, which is accessible through our website. Our website, Night Connect, also lists the available informational sessions, dates, times, and locations, which begin January 27th. If you or anyone you know is interested in running but cannot make one of these scheduled times, please reach out to a commissioner via email so we can schedule a one-on-one session and fulfill this requirement before the end of the declaration of candidacy. And then just some important election dates for you guys to keep in mind. So the declaration of candidacy is from February 9th from 9 a.m. to February 13th at 5 p.m. That's also when all the Night Connect forms are due. So for Senate, that would just be the candidate aid form and your informational session. And then for President, it will be that candidate application form, petition form, and that candidate aid form, but that one closes at midnight. The presidential debate will be Monday, February 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. Doors open at 6 for concessions and to get seats early. That'll be in the Pegasus Ballroom this year. The candidate exposition will be Wednesday, March 4th from 12 to 2 p.m. in the Key West Ballroom. Voting dates, March 9th, it opens at 8 a.m. and concludes on March 11th at 5 p.m. And the official election announcement will be at 7:30 on March 11th downstairs in the Student Union. And then just a gentle reminder to not discuss any election business in the office, and especially with other candidates. If a candidate who is not an agent approaches you with any questions, we ask that you please redirect them to a commissioner so they get the correct information. Remember that we are here to help them through this process. That is our job. Additionally, anything statute-based can be redirected to the Attorney General, and anything appeal-based that regards violation hearings can be redirected to the Chief Justice. And then lastly, from me, we had a commissioner step down. So Official resignation for Election Commission seat 12 for Jada Wesley. We thank her for her work this semester, and that is all for me.
Any questions for Supervisor Presley? Seeing none, thank you. Announcements from the ANSF Committee Chair, Chair Kaufman.
Hello, everyone. On December 8th, we held our budget hearing, and it was extremely successful. We finished seeing everybody in just one day and finished about 2 hours early, which was great. So thank you to the committee and everyone who decided to come watch, even those that just kind of watched on the live stream. Appreciate that. For those in the committee, we will be meeting on Wednesday, January 21st at noon in the conference room to start our discussions on the actual budget bill. And the ANSF special session will be on February 5th at our normal Senate time. I will announce more details about this as we get closer, but please prepare to be in Senate on this day as this meeting is very important. Thank you.
Any questions for the ANSF Committee Chair? Seeing none, caucus reports, APIA caucus, Chair Lim.
Hi, everyone. So nice to see you again. Hope your winter break was well. If you're in my caucus, please fill out the when to meet ASAP so we can figure out our meeting time for the semester. Thanks, everyone.
Any questions for the APIA Chair? Chair Gaudio.
So I was going through the website and the new SG Drive in the Teams, and I can't find any minutes from any of your meetings. Could you kind of say where that's at?
Yeah, I can add it into there. It's not in there. Okay. I probably, because I did add it, but I guess it just didn't upload.
Any other questions for the APIA caucus Chair? Seeing none, Black Caucus, Chair Smith.
Hi, everyone. I hope you all had a good break. We will be meeting on Mondays at 12 p.m. If anyone's interested in joining, our next meeting will be on the 19th virtually. Along with this, we have the Black Business Showcase coming up in February. If you know any interested businesses, please let me know. Thank you.
Any questions for the Black Caucus Chair, Chair Gaudio?
Never mind.
Alrighty. Disability Caucus, Chair Mello. The Vice Chair. Who is the Vice Chair? Oh, hi, Chair Mello.
Hello. All right. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their break and has had a smooth transition back to school. I asked that all the Disability Caucus members fill out that when to meet by Sunday, 11:59 this week. I just want to get our meeting time figured out as soon as possible. We have a lot of great things planned this semester, including Assistant Coordinator Alaraj with Nights Without Limits. This is an event with Student Accessibility Service and the Inclusion Education Services, so SAS and IES, which will give our panelists a chance to share their story. So hope to see you there. I won't repeat the information there, but we are also planning the ASL Day celebration. This is going to be on April 15th in Health Sciences 1 Atrium. More information to come with that. Otherwise, please reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'm very excited for what this semester has to come.
Any questions for the Disability Caucus Chair, Senator Leone?
Present.
Senator Leone, present and voting, so noted at 7:24 p.m. Chair Gaudio.
Did you guys meet over the fall? And if so, could you give me an update on your minutes?
Yes, we did meet over the fall, but we did have a change in vice chair positions. So I can check with our new vice chair to make sure everything's transferred over. And if not, I can make sure I do that myself.
All right, any other questions for the Disability Caucus Chair, Deeser Capinos?
I have a student who would like to join the Disability Caucus, and I was wondering what is the best steps to take in order to get them to a place of application for that.
Yeah, for joining the Disability Caucus? Yeah, I would say definitely either reach out to the Disability Caucus email, which I have access to, and join the Teams channel as well. So right now we're currently in the early stages of still figuring out our meeting time for this semester. So if this person wants to join or if you want to join, make sure they're getting these notifications or reaching out to me personally, because then I can make sure we accommodate for their time schedule too as well.
Any other questions for the Disability Caucus Chair? Seeing none, ICTC Chair Barillo.
Hello, everybody. We're working on finding a time to meet that works for most caucus members. So if you're in the caucus, please fill out the when to meet I put in the Teams channel. Thank you.
Any questions for the ICTC Chair? Senator Wanjin.
Present and voting.
Senator Wanjin, present and voting, so noted at 7:25 p.m. Chair Gaudio.
Did ICTC have any meetings beyond September 23rd?
I believe we did, but I wouldn't. Yeah, we did definitely. If there's no minutes, I'll work with the vice chair and check my own records to see if we can send those in to you.
Any other questions for the ICTC chair? Seeing none, Latin Hispanic Caucus, Chair Gonzalez or Vice Chair? Where's the Vice Chair? Don't know. I'll read it. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be here today. Some quick updates for spring semester. Tomorrow, our caucus will be meeting at 9 a.m. in the SG conference room to conduct vice chair elections and go over some expectations for spring. Thanks. If you have any questions, please reach out to that chair directly. LGBTQ plus caucus, Chair Benesh is not here, neither is Vice Chair Altuna. So it says, good evening, Senate. Hope everyone had a rejuvenating break. LGBTQ plus caucus has not yet finalized a meeting day/time. If you're in the caucus or interested, please do the when to meet when it drops tonight. Let's make this a great first meeting back. If you have any questions, please reach out to that chair specifically. Sustainability Caucus, Chair Lipner.
Good evening, everyone. We will be meeting bi-weekly on Thursdays at 3 p.m. starting next week and hope to see you all there. Additionally, as Diversity Coordinator Alaraj mentioned, in partnership with the Caucus Leadership Committee, we'll be hosting the Caucus Takeover event in the Student Union Atrium next Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Please come on out and learn about all the wonderful advocacy and community organizing being done by all 10 caucuses. And to caucus leaders, please send Vice Chair Perez the activity you plan on doing for the event so she can finalize the bingo/scavenger hunt activity that we'll be using to drive engagement for all caucus tables during the event and will be the key for students to get access to the popcorn and cotton candy that we'll be offering. Thank you all.
Any questions for the Sustainability Caucus Chair, Chair Gaudio?
Have you had any meetings following September 23rd or other than September 23rd and July 17th?
Yes, many. I was not made aware that the SG Drive was open for caucus files to be uploaded. Now that I am, I'll be making sure that all caucus leaders do that.
Alrighty. Women's Caucus, Chair Renda.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited to announce that the Women's Caucus will be hosting a Women's Health and Sexual Wellness Fair in honor of Cervical Cancer Awareness Month on January 28th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Student Union Atrium. And Vice Chair Smith and I were invited to present at Panhellenic meetings, and we'll be sharing information about our upcoming event there on Wednesday. And this semester, we'll be meeting every other Monday at 2 p.m. in the SG conference room. And tomorrow, we'll be having a hybrid meeting at 4:30. And if you're interested in joining, please let me know.
Any questions for the Women's Caucus Chair, Chair Gaudio?
Could you give an update on your minutes and when they can be expected to be put in the drive or on the website?
Yes, I will work on that. I also didn't know we had access yet, so I'll do it.
Alrighty. Any other questions for the Women's Caucus Chair? Seeing none. Announcements from the Senate President. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're all as excited as I am to get started this semester. Oh my gosh. Quick updates. SLC, I'm looking at 2:30 to 3:30 on Mondays for that. Me and Anna are taking over it, as I said last semester, and I'm really excited for it. So if you guys are able to come, it'll most likely be in the chamber. If it's not, I will send out a message in the chat either way. I've made a list of what changes need to be made to the Senate roster, and I'm currently working with our new advisor, Ashley, to make sure that those changes are made. Congrats to new leadership. We have a new ENA chair. It's Chair Lipner, and then our vice chair for LJR is Senator Zivin. So congrats to both of them. All right, and then as for semester plans overall, besides what we have planned already, I'm not really planning on doing way too much. I do want to do the snow cones with the senators on main campus as opposed to Rosen because we didn't have a really good turnout there, but I think it would be a great main campus event. The point system, I'm retiring that. I tried. I'll let the Pro Temp's office handle Senator of the Month. They got that. And then finally, shadowing. If you are interested in shadowing any of the positions, reach out to that chair or that office position directly. I know that we are all open to having anybody shadow us, especially now that election season is upon us. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people who are interested in positions for next year. Are there any questions for me? Seeing none, ELA report, ELA Reed.
Hey guys, welcome back. So I've sent you all a poll to schedule our mock dean meetings for the spring semester. They're in our little group chats I made over Teams. Please fill this out by tomorrow so I can schedule them by next week. I'm trying to get these done. I'm also sending out the emails to schedule the deans. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But tomorrow, so we can officially start scheduling. If you're not in your college's team group, just let me know. I'm very excited to start SLC. Kirsten just announced when potentially our first meeting is, but please show up to the meetings so we can show support for our SLCers. They've been so wonderful showing up to our events and our meetings, so I want to give them the same energy that they've given us. Thank you.
Any questions for the ELA? Seeing none. Senate President Pro Tempore report, Pro Temp Hamid.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you had a good first week. Quick reminder, please don't go on your phones in committees or in Senate. Everyone can see you, even if you think you're hiding it. But it's really unprofessional to do that, especially when students come in to talk to us. A quick text is fine, by the way, but like if you're scrolling actively on your phone or if you're texting someone because something's like happening actively, you could just like step out the room. That's not that bad to do. But please, it's like expected that you're an active participant in all the meetings you're in. So please be aware of that. Also look very closely at the legislation we have on the agenda tonight. The legislation we have cannot leave the chamber with issues. So no matter how small they are, please look at them. We also have a sign over today to see, and also send your pets for Hamid's Habitat.
Any questions for the Pro Tempore? Seeing none. D-Leg report, D-Leg Kaufman.
Hello again, everybody. Very good to see everyone again. Over the break, all legislation that was passed was signed and enacted, except the veto on Internal Bill 5721, which brings us up to 90 pieces of enacted legislation on the session so far, so that's exciting. Tonight, like Pro Temp Hamid just said, we will be seeing the 6 Day at the Capitol resolutions that were adopted in GAP today, and ENA's Title VI updates, so please be sure to give your attention to as the committee worked extremely hard putting these together, and they need to pass and leave the chamber tonight. As a reminder to those writing Eternal Nights proclamations, please be sure to submit them to the Pro Tempore's office by next Wednesday, January 21st at 5 p.m. That is a hard deadline on those. And tonight's legislation, we have 1 resolution on first reading, 1 internal bill on third reading, and 6 resolutions on second reading, but those 6 will also need to be seen on third.
Any questions for the D-Leg? Seeing none. DISA report, DISA Capinos.
Good evening, Senate. I hope everyone had a great time over the break. I'm excited to be back in the chamber and seeing everyone. I hope you guys all like the cookies. If you have any recommendations or anything you'd like to see, just let me know. For RSO information, there will be an email template coming out next week to send to those RSOs. And if your RSOs do reach out to you, just be sure to CC me them in any emails that you send back out. And then for our RM leagues, our soccer team played very hard this week, and we ended up winning our last regular season game in a nail biter of a 4-3 score. So clap it up for the team. They did a great job. 2 MVPs on there. And then our volleyball team played with a lot of spirit and great enthusiasm. And it was just great to see everyone so energetic coming out of the break. And our last game is coming up, I believe, next week on Tuesday at 7:20 p.m. if you'd like to come out and support. And then for our internal bonding events, I know that some of you are very eager to hear the list of things that we got planned for the semester. It will not be dropping tonight. I still have to have another meeting with Jason to finalize all of those plans, but it should come out very soon. And I'm reworking kind of the way that I go about that. But I am almost 100% confident that karaoke will be happening very soon. So, yep, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Any questions for the DSER? Seeing none. Old business, none. Fiscal committee caucus time. CRT 10 minutes. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 7:34 p.m. to reconvene at 7:44 p.m. Please be quiet if you're leaving the chamber.
Quiet, please.
All right. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7:35 p.m. Roll call and verification of quorum. Vice Chair Jones.
Okay, Chair Sherman. Senator Ali,
Present.
Senator Bonaventure,
Present.
Senator El Harak, Senator Lipner,
Present.
Senator Matthews,
Present.
Senator Orwella,
Present.
Senator Smith, Senator Theodore. I'm sorry.
I am present.
ORS rep, Pro Temp rep,
Present.
10 out of 11, quorum is verified.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve last meeting's minutes? And is there a motion to approve today's agenda? All right, announcements from me. We just have one allocation, so we'll get right into it. The only thing is that 57-416 yesterday went from pending to new approved, so all the ones that were approved are now fully approved. Any questions for me? Yeah.
Can you just explain what the business office said about that allocation?
Yeah, he said it was basically fine. I checked with the individual to make sure they were good with doing just flight, and he said yeah. So it's going to be $1,000 on the flight, which was I think a $1,400 total. So it's completely fine. They're going to get it done pretty quick, I would say. Any other questions? Seeing none, any announcements from the vice chair? None. Any announcements from committee members? Seeing none, any announcements from non-committee members? Seeing none. All right, we'll get right into old business. 57-399 Antioch Orlando College Ministry. Whenever you guys are ready.
Hi, my name is Jesse, and we wanted to request funding to attend a conference in Texas in February called World Mandate. And this is a conference that our larger group of ministries hosts every year, and we haven't been able to attend the past couple of years, but we were requesting lodging for 3 hotel rooms for one night for a couple of our student leaders to attend. And the purpose of that is so that we can, as student leaders, just grow spiritually and get to focus on learning from other leaders and other ministries across the U.S. as well, and hopefully get to collaborate with people that have maybe struggled with different things than us, so that we can learn that and then bring what we've learned back to our other students and just give our leaders the opportunity to attend that.
All right, thank you, Adeline, for questioning. And are you still planning to request the $50 per person for registration as well, or just the lodging?
We would like to request both.
All right. Any other questions? Seeing none. Coffin.
What is kind of like the organization that oversees this like event?
It's called Antioch. So they have a lot of college ministries spread out across. It started actually in Waco, Texas, which is why they're hosting it there. And it started as a college ministry, and most of the ministries are have developed into larger churches as well. So that's where our RSO is stemmed from.
Lipner.
Hi, I'm over here. Do any of your students plan on pursuing ministry as a career path, or is this more so a personal development?
I actually am going to be working for my church full time once I graduate. So it would also definitely be benefiting me with that career.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you know how many of the other students will also be potentially pursuing a career path in ministry?
At least one more.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, I don't have any of the supplemental documents in front of me right now, so I may be missing this, but do you have a schedule for the event?
So we, our flight gets in very early Friday morning, and we'll be attending multiple larger conferences. And then I don't have the exact schedule of which ones we're going to be attending, because I believe there's different rooms that we can go to attend different topics. So we don't have it fully fleshed out yet.
Okay.
Could you just give an example of some of the potential topics that you could be hearing about?
Yeah, so some of them will just be teaching us more on biblical topics, which is what we're going to be developing with the other students in our ministry. And then, some of it will just be opportunity to get to collaborate with other leaders and have discussions with them, see what has worked for their ministries, what hasn't worked, and hopefully be able to learn and glean some from them so we can bring that back and implement it with our processes as well.
Are there any other questions? Smith.
Do you have someone might have already asked this and I missed it, but do you have a detailed itinerary of the trip?
I do not, but I can get it. I haven't really fleshed out yet, since our ministry is not the one planning the details of it, but we're more just going to attend. But I can get the itinerary if that would be helpful.
We could, if the committee would want to approve this in the first place, do a pending approval, just having that. The only issue would be that because we do need to approve it tonight, and we've got 3 more minutes, it's probably not, obviously going to come right now, but we can.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, yeah, that's completely fine. Any other questions? Yes. Horace. Do we want to do like a 30-second reading time? Cool. All right. All right, I've got 30 seconds. Are there any other questions before we go to debate? Seeing none, we are now in debate. Smith.
Hi. Okay, so this is really hard for me because I do think this is an important trip for you to go on. I've said this before, but I do have some reservations about funding religious organization, like religious trips, whether that be like conferences or service trips or whatever it is. That's just a personal feeling and a personal reservation, but I'd like to hear everyone else's opinions, but that's my 2 cents.
Anyone else wishing to speak in debate? Lipner.
Yeah, I'm also kind of torn here because on one hand, this does feel like a faith-focused event with less events focused on career or academic well-being and more focused on the growth of faith within the organization. And so while I do respect and understand the importance of going to these groups as someone who is interested in ministry going forward, I'm also concerned by the fact that a large majority of the individuals who are going are not seemingly interested in pursuing that career path in the future. And so for that reason, I believe I'm leaning towards a no vote at this point, but still this seems like a great conference and I urge you to go and have the best time.
Anyone else wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we'll go to voting procedures. All those for? All those against? And all those abstaining? We'll count of 1 to 9 to 1. The committee's not decided to approve this request. I'm happy to email you to sort of explain that further. And if you have any questions, you can let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda pulled up here. No new business. Anyone wishing to speak in member discussion? Seeing no, we're not going to do an icebreaker. So is there a motion to adjourn pending final roll call? Thank you. And are there any objections? Seeing none, Vice Chair Jones.
Same as initial.
So we'll adjourn at 7:43 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I hereby readjourn this meeting at 7:45 p.m. Fiscal Committee report, CRT Committee, Chair Sherman.
Hi, Senate. Good to see everyone back. This week in CRT, we approved allocations 57, 396, 397, 398, 400 through 406, and 409 through 420. We postponed allocations 57, 399, 407, and 408. And in caucus tonight, we denied allocation 57, 399. As far as our budget, we have about $37,000 left. We'll be done in about 2 weeks, and then we'll work on our statutory revisions. And lastly, thank you to Senator Smith and Vice Chair Jones for coming to table for CRT today.
Any questions for the CRT Committee Chair, Chair Gaudio?
Why was 57,399 denied?
Yeah, this is a sort of common theme that we've seen is that the committee feels that for certain conferences, they don't necessarily meet the standard of professional development as opposed to personal development to be classified as seminar and networking conference. That's ultimately the reason this one was denied.
Any other questions for the CRT Committee Chair? Seeing none, FAO Committee, Chair Lush.
Hello, everyone. This week in committee, we approved allocations 57, 119 through 127, postponed allocations 57, 108, and 118, and PPI allocation 57, 117. And as a reminder, we meet on Thursdays at 10 a.m. if anyone would like to join.
Any questions for the FAO Committee Chair? Seeing none, ORS Committee, Chair Rose.
Hello, everyone. Hope you had a good break. We have not met yet, but we're going to meet for the first time tomorrow at 2 p.m. In the conference room, or you can join on Zoom. Yep.
Any questions for the ORS Committee Chair? Senator Banesh.
Present and voting.
Senator Banesh, present and voting, so noted at 7:47 p.m. Any questions for the ORS Committee Chair? Seeing none, fiscal legislation, none, internal committee caucus time, E&A, 20 minutes, and GAP, 30 minutes. We approved in Senate Exec to have them meet concurrently, so we will put E&A in the E&A in here, and then GAP in the conference room. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 7:48 p.m. and we will re-adjourn at 8:28 p.m. 8:18 p.m.
Quiet when you're exiting the chamber, please.
However, it essentially offends, but it doesn't say My suggestion is to say commissioner seat 127 shop looking for appointments, no legal event somewhere. So it just opens for appointments, something will have to be appointed there. It's just a shop looking for appointments, no legal event. The same way that the justices and judicial branch title says shop looking for appointments. Shop looking for appointments. I think I understand. Yeah. Because, I mean, if we're just reopen, then something has to be open. So that is I spoke to Shane with the order class, obviously, and she kind of said it's up to you guys. However, he's like explained the circumstances of the situation that we're in. If you can't survive the finances, you can't operate it. I mean, it's fine. There's the order. So, and that's all you can get to you guys. I will.
You're saying you're losing the right. I think there's like I don't know where we put it in, and also I feel like we were so like standing on the ground with like and I did yeah like that would look embarrassing if we went back. And like you have to even say like why it is.
I'm sure that the full time will I'm sure a full time yeah. Oh, can you approve the yeah. Oh, Did we get to the grant of 6, 8, and 17? Right. 6, 8, 18, 17. You were in order wrong. Oh, I was done. Yeah.
Some people use the dash and 6.2. Where it says stay with the dash, won't let me like. I could also use the one where we're going to suggest.
Oh, yeah. I think you love I'm trying to go through the numbers.
I think the majority of this revenue has to stay in because it's still rising under the whole. And since it can still do that percentage, one which has to stay.
Right here. She's talking about.
We have to change all of the definitions before in the other subsections. I think that's basically what you can use to. Like, it's like always and only done.
Change the word. I'm so sorry.
Or we can say our open eligible.
Questions is a problem.
Right.
I just, I thought. No, I should still have it in my copy.
Not very fast.
Yeah, I mean, don't worry. I believe you. Isn't that a constant election responsibility? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
No, because it's just, only 2 minutes, but I think it makes sense. I think we have more really good.
runoff, well, runoff.
Yeah, but
Correct.
are we
Mhm.
Because if in the event
But
people should
still,
vote
we
presidential
can-
elections. Okay, go for it.
I hit delete table instead of delete row. Oh, no, that's okay. For Senate, I think it is. Senate, yes.
The language in it sounds like we're talking about like all.
Senate can have one of these. Oh, I think C&D weren't technically happening there, but like, I believe the institution is but we're not correct. You saying you?
Yeah, like in this copy, it doesn't say the commissioner seat.
It does. No, we're not making it. You need to do it. That's building, I don't believe it's using, I'll just leave it. Ryan, do you have it to fix the elevation of the numbers? So the first thing shouldn't have a number. The first thing just got the number, yeah. And then you need to
All right. I hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:26 p.m. Internal committee reports, E&A committee, Chair Lipner, whenever you're settled.
Sorry, bear with me. I closed the agenda when I opened up the E&A one, so let me just get to that. But during our caucus time, we looked over 5717, so that way it is 100% good to go for us to vote on today. I hope that we all take the time to read through it on our own because it is a fairly long piece of legislation, but it should all be good, typo-free, grammatically accurate, and all that. This week, though, I was elected as chair of the E&A committee, and we discussed final changes to 5717 and continue work on the ERP in partnership with the election commission. Thank you all.
Any questions for the E&A chair? Seeing none, GAP committee chair Verla.
Hello, Senate. Thank you for allowing GAP the caucus today. We discussed and passed all 6 of our legislative priority resolutions. We will need to see them on second and third reading tonight just to keep up with the Day of the Capitol timeline, so please bear with me. Feel free to do your due diligence on asking questions about the bills GAP chose tonight because they will very quickly be transitioned into the Day of the Capitol planning process. So this is your only and last chance to really express any concerns you might have about it, just because Day of the Capitol is in 2 weeks. So we do need to really hear on that. And then also me and GAC DeMarco met with the Government Affairs Office at UCF to discuss their priorities for Day of the Capitol and to see if there's any intersection in our interests.
Any questions for the GAP committee chair? Seeing none, LJR committee chair Gaudio.
Good evening, folks. I hope you all had an excellent break. Let's go into Spring Strong. We elected Senator Zivin as the new vice chair of LJR following Chair Hernandez's graduation. Yeah. Senator Matthews was also voted in as the E&A representative. Our votes were as follows. Teresa Fawcett was approved, both absence and blanket excuse. Dean meeting absences from the fall were all approved. We meet Mondays at 4 p.m. Please join. Since we meet on Mondays, I can bake more consistently due to me being able to do it over the weekend now.
Any questions for the LJR committee chair? Seeing none, SBA committee chair Total Rescue.
Hello, Senate. I hope everyone had a splendid break. SBA has been focusing primarily on Eternal Nights proclamations. It's kind of just what we're going over right now. I just want to emphasize what D. Leg Hoffman said about the due date to anyone who is writing one. For anyone interested in joining, there are empty seats in SBA for once. And we do meet Mondays at 1 in the conference room.
Any questions for the SBA committee chair? Seeing none, confirmations, is there a motion for speeches, questioning, and debate? Senator Smith?
Motion for a 5-10-10.
There's been a motion for a 5-10-10.
Second.
And a second. Any objections? Hearing none. For confirmations, we have one today, Victoria Lieva Gonzalez. And you may come up around everyone. One more.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria Leva Gonzalez. I guess I'll tell you guys a little bit about me. I was born in Cuba. I came to America when I was 9 years old. I lived in Miami for a little bit. Then I moved to a smaller town called Fort Pierce, Florida. I received my associate's degree while I was in high school based on a minor in journalism. And now I'm here at the University of Central Florida studying political science with the international relations track and a diplomacy minor. I would like to work for the State Department in the future as a foreign service officer. And basically why I'm here today, Mary Connolly from the College of Sciences assigned over the seat to me. And I really would just like to be in student government so I can advocate for any changes, anything that I might see when I'm internally working in student government that I can see not only as a student, but from that point of, I guess, power that I'm able to look at it from that perspective and just help students have more opportunities for them if they want to do an internship, scholarship, so that we may have more programs because we can always be doing more for students. And yeah, I'm really excited to even be offered or considered for this opportunity. And thank you guys.
Okay, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions for this candidate? Chair Gaudio.
Good evening. Could you tell me how many standing committees are in the Student Body Senate?
7.
All right. Any other questions for this candidate? Senator Escobar, sorry.
What current student issues are most important to you, and how do you plan on addressing them?
Yeah, I feel like I would think like it's more important that students know the opportunities that are offered to them. They know where to go for those opportunities, who to reach out to, and just that they can be able to get a lot of help with those things. I feel like for me, since I've gotten here, this is my first year here at UCF, it's my second semester, and I've been trying to find more opportunities, things I can do to be more involved. And a lot of times I've had to do my own personal research. And I feel like it's important that students can just kind of have somewhere that they can go to, and I know we already have certain programs for that, but like I said, we can always be doing more for students. So I feel like that's just one of the main issues that I want to target. But yeah.
Any other questions for this candidate? Senator Banesh?
So thank you for being here. I see on your resume that you're part of a lot of clubs. Do you think that you'll be able to allocate a proper time to Senate as well as your other extracurriculars and maybe any like employment you have?
Thank you. That's a great question. I feel like for me, one of my biggest things is time management. I feel like I'm pretty good with that, but I understand that's a valid concern. A lot of the clubs that you see on my resume are clubs that I joined last semester, and I'm just now starting to really get involved with them. And so any way that I can help with those clubs, I think I just have to split up my time I know I can't overdo it. I can't be giving my 100% to every single activity that I'm involved in, like work, school, or whatnot. So I think knowing how to split your time up evenly with that is something that's definitely possible. But I'm sure many of you are in the same position that I am in and are able to do so. So I don't think I will have a problem with doing that.
Any other questions for this candidate? Senator Hasamira?
If you are confirmed, which committees would you plan to join?
Yes, I was just talking about that. I'm probably thinking of CRT and GAP, but yeah, I feel like that's what I'm thinking of right now.
All right. Any other questions for this candidate? Chair Gaudio?
Do you know how many times you are allowed to be absent from a Senate meeting without an excuse?
No, I do not, but if you could tell me, that'd be great.
All righty. Any other questions for this candidate? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Anybody wishing to speak in debate? Senator Casimiro?
I will personally be voting in favor of this candidate. I look at the resume and I think that she is qualified for this position. And we need more people in CRT. I feel like that's a good time.
All right. Chair Gaudio?
Connolly was a great member of the committee. I have faith in the person she chose as a sign-over. In addition, one of the student organizations she listed on her resume, the International Relations Club, I was the treasurer of that last year. So I spoke to the officers of that organization because I'm nosy. And they had nothing but good things to say. So,
All right. Any others wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 45 to 0, Victoria Lieva Gonzalez has been confirmed as the sign-over for College of Sciences, seat 11. Before you guys start clapping, let me give her instructions. Ashley in the back will help you get in contact with the justice so you can receive your oath of office. Now everyone clap. Perfect. Internal legislation, notice of legislation on first reading, resolution 5710, updates to Senate Rule 3, day at the Capitol, legislative priorities, Chair Varela remanded to LJR. Notice of legislation on third reading, we'll just keep the 5-10-10. First, we have internal bill 5717, updates to Title VI, general updates. Chair Lipner, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, we've seen this before with former Chair Chow, but this is essentially updating small amounts of the Title VI to ensure that we are ready for the election session very quickly coming. To go in order, I want to start with the very beginning, and then I'll kind of work my way down, and that way we can all kind of follow it at once. So first and foremost, we are establishing what the voting period is and ensuring that it is always going to be at 8 a.m. This was a discrepancy because earlier the student union tent opens at 9, not 8. However, the virtual voting process will open at 8, so it is marked as 8 here for both the original election period and if there is a runoff for that election runoff period. Moving down to candidates, this is not just for Senate, this is for all candidates. And so this is just a very easy way for all individuals to come and figure out what they need for the election period. And this is going to be at the very beginning of the title in order to allow students to have easy access. And that was our thought process here. Looking at a few of the changes, we are moving some things around, but overall, overarchingly, this is much of the exact same information. The only major things that we are seeing is that the presidential ticket must authorize and submit a list of all individuals who will be aiding in active campaigning. This is something new that we are adding to ensure that we aren't allowing quid pro quos to go unanswered and without any true follow-up. And so from there, we are also moving around certain parts of things, like the presidential candidates being included with the regular Senate candidates to become one large candidate document. Election times being called the voting period to match that definition that we had earlier. The explanation of the student union tent opening at 9 a.m., not 8 a.m. Write-in candidates being important and specifically only for Senate because with ranked choice voting, we are unable to maintain a write-in candidate process according to concerns from IT. Looking next at Chapter 606 recall, we are just clarifying exactly what this means, specifying that it has to be submitted to the student government advisor alongside other individuals, and fixing some grammatical errors there. And then moving all the way down to 612, which is the largest bulk of our changes. These are, once again, mostly reformatting and not actually changing any actual in-practice systems. And so I'll kind of just go through those things right now. Once again, this is membership in terms of office for those individuals in the election commission. And so we wanted to clarify exactly how they're run, how they are appointed, and the process for those bi-yearly terms. Once again, we wanted to match the appointment processes for judicial, where they also follow a similar 2-year term. And so we followed similar wording for the commission seats in E1 and 2. And that pattern shall continue perpetually through time. So we just wanted to make sure that was clear. And this is all being moved from J and K. So once again, this is nothing new. This is just being reorganized to make a little bit more sense for new readers. Looking at 612.2, the duties and responsibilities for the supervisor of elections. We added that responsibilities tag because it's clear that this isn't just the duties, this is what they are responsible for. And it may not necessarily be actions that they have to take, but people or expectations that they have in this role. And so we are updating these to match. Additionally, we're removing Sunshine Law and adding Title 12 because that is the accurate transparency document that oversees us as SG. Similarly, for the assistant supervisor of elections, we do basically the exact same things here, just for the assistant as opposed for the maiden supervisor. And I'll yield to any questions. Thank you.
All right, we're now in a period of questioning. Pro Tem Hamid.
Could you explain why B and C in 612.1 are blank?
Absolutely. So they are not blank. They are completely full. It's just we were having issues with formatting. And so as opposed to going from A to D, we left those two blank in order to allow that D to be properly numbered.
Any other questions? Senator Banesh?
This is also a question about 612. I'm seeing here that the wording was changed. It says here open for appointment and run concurrent to et cetera, et cetera. Why was this changed? I feel like what was said before made a lot more sense and this overcomplicated it.
So a lot of this was how it was originally written in J and K. However, what we did change was matching the wording that was used for the judicial appointment processes.
in order to maintain consistency throughout statutes.
And also to add on that, the judicial review that we just had found that the language that existed was unconstitutional. So that change needed to be made. Any other questions? District Pinos?
I may have a follow-up if that's okay. I'm just curious about 604.3 about the voting period. It was defined in 600.1 and then redefined in 604.3. I was just wondering if you could re-explain why we have, I mean, it's the same language. I was just wondering why it's in two different places.
So both are standing accurately because the term voting period is used throughout the document, and so the definition is needed to refer to for that purpose. However, while it does kind of serve the same purpose, the definition isn't actively a part of the statute necessarily, and so we wanted to ensure that we explain everything fully within statutes for the voting period purpose.
And then did you have a follow-up, District Pinos?
Not this time.
All right, any other questions? Chair Sherman?
Was there a particular reason that the responsibility to validate the presidential petition signatures went from the advisor to the election commission? I don't think I heard you mention about that change.
Sorry, can you confirm exactly where in this you are referring to?
Yeah, sorry, in 606.1 recall.
I'll be honest, this change was made before I assumed the chair position, and I am struggling to understand specifically why as well. My assumption, though, would be that they felt that the student government advisor position should more so act as a verification as opposed to the election commission, which can, I'm sorry, a verification for universities policies, whereas the election commission can handle verification for person-to-person concerns or signatures per se.
Any other questions? Pro Tem Hamid?
In 608.17a, it says through writing dash supervisor of elections, comma, directed to the supervisor of elections. Is the first supervisor of elections a typo?
Yes, I believe it is, and it should be removed.
All right, any other questions? Seeing none, we're now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate? Senator Wanjin?
Just want to motion to see my amendments as a technical or as technicals. They're both on 612.2 and they're on E2 and 3. They're just striking either of in regards to the assistant supervisor of elections since there's only one.
So 612.2
E2 and 3. It's the one strike through in each of those lines.
Okay. All right, yes, those will be seen as technicals. Are there any other pieces of debate? There are a lot of amendments, so somebody's going to have to start raising hands. Chair Lipner?
Motion to see all amendments on the page as a block.
There's been a motion to see all of the amendments on the page as a block. And a second, are there any objections? Hearing none, all of these amendments will be seen as a block. You have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. I'll just go down the page and explain everything. So first and foremost, removal of the interim supervisor of elections. That's not like a thing we do anymore. So why would it be there? Looking next at the therefore be enacted clause. Title IX isn't touched at all here, so why would it need to be there? Looking next at the 8 versus 9 a.m., the correct number is 8 a.m. after confirming with the EC. The discrepancy was that the tent is opening at 9, but the actual voting period is at 8. Moving further down to 602.29i,
These are just simple grammatical changes. The same goes for F. This is just ensuring that everything makes sense. Looking at 604.3, the voting period, this is also mostly grammatical changes to ensure that everything reads properly. Actually, that's everything that it is. Also changing from the 8 to 9. I'm sorry. Yes, the 8 to 9 a.m. and confirming that discrepancy there. In 604.7, we're clarifying that writing candidates are only applicable to Senate because they do not work for the presidential election. Moving down to 612.1. This is changing that wording to match the existing wording for appointments for the judicial branch to ensure that we are not unconstitutional. And more grammatical errors being fixed in 612.2E for the student and election period, just fixing some word jumbles. Looking at J, we are once again just fixing wording, not changing meaning at all. Looking at 612 point, is that 0.3? Hold please, 612 point, yes, it should be 0.3 and it should not be crossed out. That should not be crossed out there. Anywho, 612.3, duties and responsibilities for the election assistant supervisor of elections. This is again not making many changes, just ensuring that the numbering is all accurate and as it should be. Going from A with the 2 crossouts, then to B, C, D, E, F, and that's everything. Also, we're changing, or that isn't an addition. That's just making sure that it's all formatted properly for the complete any additional duties portion. That was already on statutes, nothing being added, just ensuring that it's all numbered properly. And I'll yield to questions.
All right, we are now in a period of questioning for this block of amendments. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate for this block of amendments? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures for the amendment block. All right, with a vote count of 45 to 1 to 1, this amendment block has passed. We are still in debate on the bill as a whole. Are there any other pieces of debate on this bill in its entirety? Seeing none. Senator Gonzalez? Say like president voting. You're good.
Present and voting.
Senator Gonzalez, president voting, so noted at 8:49 p.m. Are there any other pieces of debate on this bill as a whole? Pro Tem Hamid?
Can I direct a quick question to Chair Gaudio?
You may.
You made an amendment on 602.2 9I. Was that amendment made prior or after the motion to see all the previous amendments?
After.
All right. So Chair Gaudio, you have a minute whenever you're ready.
I would like to move to see my amendment.
All right. There's been a motion to see Chair Gaudio's amendment. And a second. Any objections? Hearing none, you have a minute whenever you're ready.
This is a very simple change. Under the candidate section in the big block before, it changed an is to an are. So it reads, expectations and responsibilities of the office are being declared for, which just sounds weird. So this is just which candidacy is being declared for. Just there. That's it.
All right. We are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Chair Lipner?
Motion to approve this amendment.
There's been a motion to approve this amendment by general consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, this amendment is approved by general consent. And then D. Capinos, do you want to resend your amendment you currently have on that line now that it's grammatically correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we are still in debate on the bill as a whole. I do not see any other amendments. So with that, vote. We're now in a period of voting on the bill. All right, with a vote count of 43 to 2 to 0, Internal Bill 5717 passes third reading. Notice of legislation on second reading, resolutions. We're still carrying on the 51010. First, we have Resolution 5711, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Higher Education Legislative Priorities. Chair Varela, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Awesome. First, a bit of introduction. All of these resolutions are the collection of bills that GAP has chosen to advocate for or against at this year's Day at the Capitol. Just quick advice: if you want to follow along, you can open the Florida Senate website, and on that website, on the top, there's a little search bar for bill number, and you can type in the bill number that we've chosen to look at the bill yourself and see if you agree. So starting off with our first priority, which is higher education, we have chosen to advocate for Senate Bill 800, engineering. This bill would create new penalties for unlicensed engineers in the state, but more importantly, it will create a loan forgiveness program for engineers that enter in the service in either water management or other public service for the state of Florida. This is really important because UCF is a massive engineer school. We want to support our engineers in any way possible and be very attractive for both in-state and out-of-state students to go to UCF and eventually graduate to serve the state of Florida. And again, it really helps the engineering industry because it creates more incentive for engineers to work for the government, do very important work of infrastructure, water management, street management, all of these things that kind of make our life possible in the modern age. So it's very, very important to support our engineers as they do that. Moving on, we'll be advocating in favor for Senate Bill 920, mathematics education. What this would do is it would create new mathematic pathways for K through 12 students to learn mathematics that are more career focused to their specific interests. It will create mathematic pathways that people will have to report to the Board of Governors about. It'll basically just create more in-depth and specified algebraic calculus instruction programs that will allow people to be more ready as they enter college. This especially help UCF because it will allow also these classes to get more state university credit. So people will enter college with more math credits as well as more experience in math that is more pertaining to the career they want to do. So engineers will have more math that pertains to engineering. Doctors will have more math that pertains to medicine, stuff like that. Just in general, tailor mathematics education to put students in a position for more success. And then finally, we'll be advocating against House Bill 721. This is a bill that will cap the amount of foreign-born students that could attend Florida State universities, which is something that we would like to advocate against because, one, it restricts the autonomy of state universities to enroll who they want to enroll, as well as is very harmful to state universities because foreign-born students tend to pay the highest tuition fees, so it is a major fiscal negative impact for state universities, as well as just foreign students really do make the backbone of many university fiscal impacts and culture. So it is very important that we allow universities to enroll who they want to, when they want to, and we don't restrict their freedom on that. I yield my time to question.
Okay, we're now in a period of questioning, and I will also yield the chair to President Hamid.
Okay, are there any questions? Senator Wanjin.
Thank you for that speech. I wanted to ask basically, why is nothing you said in your speech in the bill, like information about the bills, about how the bills actually impact UCF, how they're relevant to UCF, anything like that we've historically had in these legislative priorities?
Because all the bills were selected today and all those resolutions you're seeing in front of you are just things we had to whip up because of the limited time frame. And I decided that just an adequate speech would be enough for people who are curious about why we chosen these bills to advocate for.
Any other questions? Chair Gaudio.
Could I potentially ask why a lot of that work wasn't started or done by the end of fall?
Yeah, politics is very fast moving. Many of these bills weren't filed during our last meeting of the fall. So it is very difficult to start work on a bill that hasn't been filed yet. Many of these bills are filed over the break after we meet. I did probably over 100 hours of work during the break, researching all these bills, reading news stories to making sure I stay informed. It just, Day of the Capitol this year, because we're not in an election year, is in January, which means that, it's our first week of school. Day of the Capitol's in 2 weeks, right? So it's very, very difficult to do all of this, the amount of work you might do in previous years and still choose bills that are relevant, right? We could have chosen bills before the fall semester ended, and they would have been either irrelevant, being that they were not going to pass it all in the legislature or have no relevance to the current day, or just not bills that we would have wanted to choose, right? So I decided to choose to put out a better product and better bills that we'll be able to advocate for, rather than rush the process to get it done before fall.
Any other questions? Chair Gaudio?
My understanding was that the members of the committee created bill briefs, which discussed the bills briefly and went over it, and those were done over the break. And so I suppose I'd like to draw attention why were maybe those not used, because the information should have been there, according to my interpretation.
Those were largely for internal use. I know a lot of us used them for deciding, after the hundreds of bills we briefed, to choose which ones to bring. It's all public information, so anyone could request them. I guess in theory, you could link the bill briefs to the bill, although I've never seen a bill with a link to it. But in theory, that's something you could do, and something I can do if that's something that the Senate really wanted. But again, for any young, enterprising people that would want to inquire why we support or don't support these bills, this is all being recorded. The GAP meetings are recorded, so I believe there's adequate information.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we're now in a period of debate. Is there any debate on this resolution? Okay, seeing none, we're now in a period of voting. Resolution 5711. So with a vote count of 42 to 2, Resolution 5711 passes second reading. Resolution 5712, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Healthcare Legislative Priorities. Chair Varela, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yep, moving on to our next priority, it is healthcare. The first bill is Senate Bill 114, Continuity of Care and Health Insurance Contracts. We'll be advocating for this bill because it specifies that whenever someone has their health insurance lapse or their contract gets terminated, they are mandated a grace period in which they're still covered until they can find a new healthcare insurance, which is very important for college students and grad students, as this period is very transitory. There are many reasons how we could lose our health insurance or lapse our health insurance. A very common one being when you claim residency in a new state, you have to separate from your parents. So for instance, if you're from Virginia and you want in-state tuition after a year of living here, you would have to claim residency in Florida, and thus you would no longer be dependent on your parents, and then your health insurance will lapse because you're no longer visa dependent. So stuff like that is what a lot of students fall prey to, and this will just allow students to have that grace period in which they can find new health insurance without having to worry about that, because health insurance is very complicated, very scary realm, and it's just good support for them. Next will be Senate Bill 586, Repair of Mobility Devices. Bill is part of a larger political movement called the Right to Repair. Basically, it is mandate that the companies that make these mobility devices provide instructions and parts available at an affordable price for people who use these devices to repair them themselves. Because right now, even though you might have the expertise or the knowledge to repair your own devices, you cannot get the parts available because these companies basically hold them hostage, wanting you to pay them exorbitant fees to fix these mobility devices. That's obviously not fair. And this is a part of a larger, again, political movement to have the right to repair. And this would definitely benefit students because, there's very few other groups in America that would want to repair their own stuff than college students, enterprising engineers. So it would be very, very good for them to have this right to repair their own devices. Moving on, we will also be in favor for House Bill 137, coverage for mammograms and supplemental breast cancer screenings, basically just directing insurance providers to mandate that they provide coverage for mammograms and just general breast cancer screenings. I hope I don't have to explain why that's super important. Women's health is always something very important to invest in, especially breast cancer. Catching breast cancer early could be the difference between death and life. So that's obviously very, very important. So it seems clear to me that that is a worthy cause of advocating for. I yield my time to questioning.
Okay, we're now in a period of questioning. I also yield back to Senate President Courts.
All right, are there any questions about Resolution 5712? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate? Chair Lipner?
Yeah, right to repair is something I'm very, very passionate about, and I'm very happy to see us advocating for it. I'll be voting in favor.
All right, any others wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we are now in a period of voting for Resolution 5712. With a vote count of 45 to 1 to 0, Resolution 5712 passes second reading. Next, we have Resolution 5713, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Sustainability and Innovation Legislative Priorities. Chair Varela, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yep. Hello, everybody. This is our priorities for sustainability and innovation policy area. So to begin, we will be advocating for Senate Bill 546, conservation lands. What this bill will do is it will make more transparency when the state is buying or selling public and state land. This is a reaction to last year's controversy about state parks and what the government had plans for these said state parks. This just creates more transparency, more community engagement for the purchasing and sale of these state lands, which is, I think, very, very good, especially for UCF. We've always been very passionate about our state parks, with our Arboretum and the way our students reacted to what happened last year with the state parks. It is very important that these lands are protected, and that whenever the government thinks about doing something with them, that we are all adequately informed so we can have our voice heard about it. Moving on to Senate Bill 302, nature-based solutions for improving coastal resilience. I hope I don't need to explain why, having resilient coasts is important. We are always being battered by hurricanes, so it'd be very nice to develop new ways to create sustainable ways to preserve our coasts. And this bill will direct the government to create new, innovative nature-based solutions that don't cost as much as artificial solutions and will allow us to protect our coasts in a sustainable, economic, and feasible way. Finally, for Senate Bill 200, we have utilities. This would just allow the government to decommission and repurpose old solar plants. Florida, the Sunshine State, we have many, many solar plants and many, many solar farms. Some of them are old, deteriorating. This bill would instruct the government to take those old and deteriorating plants and repurpose them for better, more innovative things. It's just a good way to recycle the resources we have, as well as invest in clean energy and making sure that we don't have solar panels going to waste because they've been here for so long. I yield my time to questioning.
We're now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions on Resolution 5713? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Anybody wishing to speak in debate? Senator Wanjin.
Move to see my amendment as a technical. The email is wrong.
That will be seen as a technical. Are there any other pieces of debate? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures for Resolution 5713. With a vote count of 45 to 1 to 0, Resolution 5713 has passed second reading. Senator Sohn.
Present voting.
Senator Sohn, present and voting, so noted at 9:06 p.m. Next, we have Resolution 5714, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Student Wellbeing Legislative Priorities. Chair Barilla, you have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Yep, this is our student well-being priority, essentially just relating to student safety and student mental health. So to begin, we have Senate Bill 138, Advanced Practice Registered Nurse Autonomous Practice. This will just basically just make it so that nurses who get the proper certification will be able to administer mental health services without needing to work associated to a hospital or physician. This is a positive thing because it will expand access to mental health services across the state, which we all know is desperately needed, as well as give our students who want to have the opportunity to administer mental health services, make it easier for them to do that on their own so they can establish their own businesses on their own and not have to rely on working with a physician or other larger hospital. It just expands access to all of that. Moving on to Senate Bill 896, school safety. We'll be advocating against this bill, mainly because it will allow Florida State universities to enter into the Florida Guardianship Program. If you guys don't know what that is, that would designate a member of faculty or staff to have a firearm on campus in case anything happens. There will be a level of first response. So that's something we'll be advocating against, just because we got many responses to the survey that expressed anxiety about having firearms on campus, mainly related to events that happened this year, last year, and the year before that. UCF has had many run-ins with these type of events, so there's just a lot of anxiety about that. So that's something that we believe that we should advocate against. And finally, Senate Bill 534, the Hunger-Free Campus Pilot Program. This is something that we're advocating for because it'll create a pilot program to address food neediness in Florida's in 3 of the highest Pell Grant receiving universities in Florida. And hopefully, again, this is something that's obvious. We don't want our students going hungry. We want students focusing on their work, not on what they're going to eat the next day. So hopefully this is a great step to allow no student to be hungry in the state university system. So I yield my time questioning.
We are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any people who wish to speak in debate? Senator Benesh.
I'll be voting in favor of this resolution. I feel like it's very important to advocate for, students not going hungry. And I feel like it's especially important to be in opposition, or at least advocate in opposition of Senate Bill 896. A lot of our students and a lot of students in Florida in general are very affected by shooting violence. You guys may know people who went through Parkland and other horrible tragedies. So I feel like that's very important. And I encourage you guys to all vote in favor of this resolution as well.
All right, any others wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures for Resolution 5714. Right, with a vote count of 42 to 3 to 0, Resolution 5714 passes second reading. Next, we have Resolution 5715, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Public Welfare Legislative Priorities. Chair Barilla.
Yep, this is public welfare, just everything that affects the public welfare for students in general Floridians. First is Senate Bill 752, one of my personal pet favorites. That's taxation of first-time buyers. Basically, what this would do is it would eliminate some of the taxes associated with first-time home buying. I think that's something that's extremely important for young people. As we all probably know, purchasing a house is very, very difficult for young people these days. And I think anything to assuage those concerns is really, really important. I think you ask any young person kind of what some of their most existential concerns are, it's I'll never own a house, right? So I think it's really, really important for our government to support us as we all graduate, grow up, get jobs, and look to buy a house and build a future. So this would just eliminate some of those tax barriers to that about the sale and transfer of first-time homes. And then we'll also be advocating in favor of House Bill 315, Immigration Law Enforcement Agent Identification. This is just a general immigration reform bill. It would it's the immigration reform bill. It would just give more supports to immigrants in Florida by creating the Office of New Americans, to just give lots of general support of naturalizing citizens, giving them financial resources in order to acclimate into society, as well as creating regulations on where immigration enforcement can operate. It will prevent them from entering college campuses or school campuses in general, as well as also mandate that immigration operators have state-issued identification on them to identify themselves as operators of the state. I want to tell the question.
We're now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Dela Kaufman?
You said Senate Bill 752, but it says 75 on the bill. I just want to make sure that's not a typo and that it's the correct.
It's meant to be 752.
All right, that amendment in debate will be seen as a technical. Are there any other questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Pro Tem Hamid?
Motion to see my amendment as a technical.
It'll be seen as a technical. Anybody wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures for Resolution 5715. Okay, with a vote count of 44 to 3-0, Resolution 5715 passes second reading. And now we have Resolution 5716, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Campus Safety Legislative Priorities. Chair Varela.
Yep, last one, guys. Thank you for bearing with me. This is our campus safety policy priorities. This is what's most important, I believe, to us this year because it has the highest number of responses of people in the survey saying that they care about it. Again, it shouldn't be a surprise that campus safety is on a lot of people's minds, and this is kind of what people want us to advocate for the most. So to start with, we have Senate Bill 176, Public Post-Secondary Education Safety Policies and Procedures. We'll be advocating for this. This bill just will advocate all of the schools in the state university system to develop and adopt new safety procedures to address public safety threats, ranging from physical threats of violence to more emotional threats of danger. And also develop plans about how to protect high-risk communities and people if they're being threatened of violence. Obviously, very, very important that we adopt specific procedures about how to handle crises like this. By far on the survey, something we got the most is how the student body was unsatisfied with how the UCF responded to crisis in the past. So I think this would go a long way to ease some of the concerns of the student body and how UCF will handle or would handle any potential public safety hazard or crisis. Moving on to Senate Bill 296, Victims of Domestic Violence and Dating Violence. This bill would, it has two major parts. The first part is to conduct a feasibility study about a new way for victims of dating and domestic violence to contact 911 instead of having to call 911, which could put them in danger because it's not very discreet. They'll develop an internet way to message 911 operators that they're in danger or suffering violence in a discreet and anonymous way. Moving on, it will also allow victims of dating violence to benefit from the same ambiguity in the legal process as victims of domestic violence, which I think is really, really important because dating and domestic violence tend to be very similar, and victims of dating violence could suffer from the same dangers as victims of domestic violence. I think in general, it's a very, very serious issue, both on college campuses and in general in society. So I think it's really important that we advocate for these new procedures to make both women and men feel more safe as they engage in dating and just general life, so they don't have to worry about any of that stuff like that. And finally, we have House Bill 133, minimum age of firearm purchase and transfer. We'll be advocating against this bill because it lowers the age of firearm purchase from 21 to 18. Again, this is just based on the survey. A lot of people also express concerns about the Supreme Court, the Florida Supreme Court ruling to allow open carry in the state. A lot of students express concerns about having guns on campus and not feeling safe on campus. And if this bill passes, it'll allow more college-age students to be able to purchase firearms even if you can't bring them on campus, that just will create a lot of anxiety within the student body about who can have a gun, who can't have a gun. Obviously, not all laws about where you can bring a gun are followed. So it just, I think, will not do any good to have this bill pass, considering that students already have pretty intense anxiety about the state of gun ownership in Florida. I yield my time to questioning.
All right, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Senator Rickett?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Chair Varela, you mentioned in the statement that the UCF student population felt in the survey that there were some incidences where they could have done better. The university. Can you just go ahead and expand in more detail on what events and incidences those specifically were?
Yeah, last semester in the fall semester, there was a threat against UCF's African American community, very violent threat. And many students felt that UCF didn't take the threat seriously enough. There was a lot of concern about how lackadaisical the university was, and that was very clearly expressed in the survey. Many of our students said that they felt like the university didn't take public safety seriously, which is obviously a very, very big problem. And the bill I was talking about, the adopting the safety policy procedures, will allow those fears to be assuaged a little bit because it'll give UCF a mandated process and procedure to follow when there is a public safety threat, so students can feel more secure when they attend class.
Are there any other questions? Senator Rickett?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. A follow-up question, please.
You may.
Okay, so can I guess my question is, what could the university have done better during that specific situation? How was there any feedback specifically on what could have been improved during that situation?
Yeah, I think a lot of from both private conversations and response in the survey, just the idea that people didn't know what was going on. It felt like the university wasn't taking it super seriously. It felt like that there wasn't any sort of plan to handle the public safety threat. It kind of felt like that there was an Instagram post about we know about the situation, and then not much else was done past that. So I think just like maybe even just knowing that the university has procedures in place to handle stuff like that will help a lot. Even if there was perhaps never any danger threat or a lot of threats are empty, just knowing that the university is prepared to handle stuff like this and that there is procedures in place that they will execute, I think will help a lot of students feel more at ease as they attend class.
Any other questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Anybody wishing to speak in debate? Senator Banesh?
I'm going to be voting in favor. However, I do want to talk about the opposition to House Bill 133. I feel like that issue is a bit nuanced, and to say that we're in complete opposition isn't reflective of all student views. That's all I'm going to say. But I am voting in favor.
All right, anybody else wishing to speak in debate? Seeing none, we are now in voting procedures on Resolution 5716. All right, with a vote count of 44 to 3-0, Resolution 5716 passes second reading. Chair Barilla.
Motion to move back to third reading. Or motion to place Resolution 5711 to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 on third reading.
There's been a motion to place Resolutions 5711 through 16 on third reading. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, those are now on third reading. Chair Gaudio.
I move to pass all legislation on third reading.
I object.
Okay, Pro Tem Hamid has a question. Will you rescind? Okay, sure. What's your question?
Vice Chair Wanjin's, it was changed. Sorry, I went back to Resolution 5711 and 5712 to change the email. And I thought that it was still an amendment, but it was approved.
Yes. Is there a motion to move back to notice of legislation on third reading?
So moved.
Alrighty, we are now in legislation on third reading. Chair Gaudio, do you wish to make that motion again?
I move to approve all legislation on third reading.
There's been
I object.
Okay. That motion won't be seen. Resolution 5711, resolution creating the 2026 Day at the Capitol Higher Education Legislative Priorities. Chair Barilla, you have 5 minutes.
Can I motion to see resolution 57, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 as a block?
There's been a motion to see these resolutions as a block. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, these 6 resolutions will be seen as a block. You still have 5 minutes whenever you're ready.
Awesome. Thank you all for bearing with me. All these resolutions are a culmination of all of GAP's work this semester. I thank you all for your trust in GAP's work, and just hope you all know that the GAP committee has done the best with the information we can about kind of what the students want from us. Obviously, not every student view is going to be replicated in these priorities, but hopefully we have covered a large base of them that allow most students to feel like they're being adequately represented by us to hope and we hope, sorry, lots of talking. We hope that all students feel like their concerns are being addressed with these priorities. I give my time to question.
All right, we are now in a period of questioning. Are there any questions? Chair Rose?
I didn't catch this the first time we looked at it, but is there a reason the right to repair bill was put on the healthcare resolution rather than like the sustainability one, for example?
Yeah, mobility devices are a part of healthcare and people taking care of themselves. So we felt like it was appropriate to put that into healthcare. Just because like stuff like mobility devices tend to be a part of healthcare.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Anybody wishing to speak in debate? Pro Tem Hamid?
I'll be speaking in favor in the block of, wait, may I retain?
You may.
I'll be speaking in favor for the block of resolutions. I really believe that GAP has done their best to encapsulate their results that they got from their survey and found bills that accommodate them very well. And I believe that these bills will be great for us to advocate either for or against at Day at the Capitol. With that, move to vote.
All right, there's been a motion to vote. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, we are now in voting procedures on the block. With a vote count of 46 to 2 to 0, resolutions 5711 through 5716 passed third reading. Senate Forum, Senator Matthews.
Hey everyone. So if your major or your minor falls in the School of Politics, Security, and International Relations, we're having a meeting next week with the leadership of that college or the school. We were recommended this by the dean of the College of Sciences, and they actually were really receptive to it. So if any of you guys want to do that with your school too. But we're just going to be talking about more like internal issues within the school and the advising. So if you guys are interested, you guys can message me on Teams and I can add you guys to the group chat so we can find the time for it. Thank you.
All right, Senator Gaudia.
Hello, everybody. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention a volunteer opportunity in a flea market that is happening at my local parish. They need donations. They need volunteers. They're selling things at low prices. So if you're in the Winter Springs area, I have the flyers. Talk to me about it. It's great.
All right. And then the only announcement I'm going to give, I know that the individual who spoke in open forum passed out papers. Whenever you leave, if you don't plan on keeping them, please throw them in recycling. Do not put them in the garbage. Chair Lipner.
Motion to revisit Internal Bill 5717.
There's been a motion to move back to notice of legislation on third reading. And a second. Any objections? Hearing none. Okay, Internal Bill 5717. You have, is there a motion to reconsider the vote? Yes. Okay, go on. You have 5 minutes.
Yeah, so this is fixing a few very small formatting and just clerical errors that was brought to my attention after we voted, and I just wanted to make sure that we did it properly, so we're going back and doing that. This is in 612.1. As Pro Temp Hamid mentioned, the A and B being empty were kind of weird, so I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't one reason that frame may veto this. And so I added that proper language as is properly written, and then fixed all of the numbering to match. Additionally, what else did I do? And then I removed I and J because those are just not there at all. That was something that was added by the previous chair and then was removed for readability. And so it should just not be on the bill whatsoever. I'll yield to questions.
Okay, we're now in period of questioning. Pro Tem Hamid?
This is to anyone who can answer it. There's like a really big space between the end of 612.1 and 612.2. If when like the things are approved, would that space go away, or would we have to just like delete it?
I'm not sure. I've been trying to get rid of it, but I'm not sure how. If you know how to, please do.
All right, I'll let our advisor answer that question.
Yes, as long as that's if it's simple formatting things that we might take a look at and align, that's something that we can do without, you know, like spaces, right? Like that's something that we can fix on our end and make sure it's all in alignment.
All right, perfect. With that, are there any other questions on these amendments? Seeing none, we are now in a period of debate. Are there any pieces of debate? Chair Lipner?
Motion to approve these amendments as a block.
There's been a motion to approve these amendments as a block. And a second, any objections? Hearing none, this block of amendments is approved. And now, is there a motion to reconsider the vote on Internal Bill 5717? Okay, so we will be revoting on the bill as a whole. Okay, I'll wait. We are now in voting procedures. All right, with a vote count of 44 to 3-0, Internal Bill 5717 has passed third reading. We are now back in Senate Forum. McNulty.
Hi, y'all. So, as y'all know, the Artemis 2 launch is coming up pretty soon. I got the opportunity to talk to, actually had breakfast with Director Jared Isaacman this past Tuesday. And it was pretty cool. If you see a photo, he has a donut in his hand with me taking a selfie, and he actually posted it. So I feel very honored. But right now, the launch date is set for February 6th at 9:00 p.m. at night. That is a Friday. However, this is from no one else. Wink, wink. It most likely will be rescheduled to Sunday, February 8th. Just be on the lookout for that. If you are interested in going, I know I mentioned before the semester, before the end of the fall semester, that I would be attending and would potentially have car passes or have passes to bring whoever would go. I already know like some of the people that are interested. I won't know exactly how I'm going to be able to take. I know I'll be able to take those people, those individuals, but I have to get more information. They like to release it the week of. So I'm not going to know for a minute, but I do have an idea of who wants to go. They have the rollout this weekend, this Saturday at 7 a.m. If you want to go. But it's exciting, putting people back on the moon. So I highly suggest y'all watch it. And on a side note, for me and myself, I will most likely be leaving Senate very early this semester as I got called to active duty orders for the Air Force. So I am looking to potentially leaving sometime this month. It would have been March when I leave. However, my professors are saying in order for me to stay in the classes that I would have to finish those classes early. And with that, I'd have to study a lot. So I'm not going to have much time. So I will be most likely gone right after day at the Capitol when I go with y'all. So that's it.
Bless you. Chair Lipner.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a brief sorry about 5717. This was a result of us starting revisions and then working on that clarity revision where we moved everything around for the subtitles. And what was left behind was a bill that had old numbering, old formatting, and old ordering, but new information. And so we had to update that within the past like 6 hours. So I hope it turned out great. I hope that everyone is happy with it. And thank you. And I promise this is the last time that'll be like that. Yeah.
Advisors report, Ashley.
Haha, happy Thursday, good people. It's my first advisors report. Yay me. So my hope is to bring the energy after our Thursdays. So I will speak in a tone that hopefully wakes some of us up. First, I just want to thank everyone that has, one, introduced themselves and come by my office. Two, has helped me figure out all the things that are going on and where all the documents are and the folders and the channels and all the patience folks have already shown my way. I greatly appreciate it and just ask for you to keep doing it. Also, just to let you all know, for folks that need me, might be looking for me, Amanda and I will be at the downtown campus next Wednesday because they'll be having their RSO and resource fair. And since that was the team I was working with, we were like, yes, we will not abandon you all since we took Ashley to main campus and we'll go help with that. If y'all get a chance to go and haven't been to the downtown campus, I will always represent them and say, go do that. It's a beautiful place. And one thing that I will always bring to my advisors report is something that my advisor did when we were in student government and we all loved it because it was random, is a national day of, right? And today, just so you know, on January 15th, is National Bagel Day. So if there is anywhere that's serving bagels at 9:33 p.m., go find it. They might have a deal available. That's it for me.
All right, perfect. Any questions for Ashley? Senator Banesh?
This isn't really a question, but I love the national days thing. Like my science teacher used to do that when I was like 13. So I don't know, you caught me in a very kiddish time of my life. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none. Maite, none. You don't even want to say hi?
Hello, guys. I'm so happy to be back. I hope you have a great semester and let's put energy. I know it could be hard, but we got it, okay? If you need me, you know where to find me, and that's all.
Perfect. And then before I move on to miscellaneous business, Senator Gonzalez, what committee did you want to join?
GAP, and yeah, I think that's it for now.
Okay, I believe GAP has exactly one open seat right now, so 14. Okay, great. Okay, so miscellaneous business. I hereby resign Jordan Metellus from Senate. I hereby resign from FAO, Diana Nguyen and Owen Sherman, LJR, Rose Rodriguez, and Victoria Gonzalez. ORS, Melva D, ENA, Isabella McRae, and SBA, Eric Callis and Victoria Gonzalez. And for appointments, I hereby appoint Rose Rodriguez and Diana Nguyen to ENA, Melva D and Isabella McRae to SBA, Eric Callis to LJR, GAP, Victoria Lieva Gonzalez to both GAP and CRT. Senator shoutouts, guys. Gabe?
Shout out Chair Lipner and Chair Varela. That was a lot of talking. I hope you guys drink water after that. Shout out to McNulty. We're going to miss you. Internal committees, you guys have done a lot of work. I'm proud of y'all. I know I'm not in any of them, but I do see them. Shout out to CRT. We're almost done. ORS, we're almost done. FAO, I'm sorry I can't join you, but I know you guys have done a lot of work. And shout out to everyone. Well, good to be back.
Okay, you guys are not very. Chair Lipner and then Senator Ross.
First and foremost, shout out to Vice Chair Zivin. Congratulations on getting elected. Next up, I know you're not a senator, but
Assistant Supervisor Colazo, thank you so much for being here and providing your input on 5717. It's appreciative to have your eyes. Next, I just want to thank our new advisor for being so wonderful. Everything that you've done has been so helpful. So thank you. I'm so looking forward to this semester. And just thank you all for bearing with me throughout 5717. I know that was probably a headache for everyone. Trust me, it was a headache for me as well. And I'm looking forward to the next semester.
Okay, Rodriguez.
Lipner stole a lot of mine, I'm not gonna lie. So it's gonna be a lot of part twos, but shout out Ashley. So glad you're here. Shout out Koyazo, same thing. And then shout out Bobby, one of my favorite people. And then shout out all of you. You guys got through the break and now we're all refreshed. Also Grams, shout out to Grams.
No. Anybody else? Senator Matthews.
Shout out all of ENA and Chair Lipner. He spent 6 hours, like after our ENA meeting, all the way till Senate today, redoing the whole entire formatting of that bill. So big kudos to you for stepping into the chair today and doing that. And then also ENA, we did so good today. I'm so proud of us.
Anybody else? Chair Gaudio.
I love my committee. You guys are amazing, including the new vice chair. Oh, there was someone else I want. Rickett, I missed looking at the back of your head. It's a wonderful head.
Dylan Kaufman.
There's a lot of reluctancy there. Shout out Deezer Capinos, Pro Temp Mead, Pro Temp's office, we're back. Shout out the Fiscal Bros, we're back. Shout out Ashley. It's been a crazy week already. It's been fun. Shout out Chair Varela too. He put a lot of work, and the entire GAP committee, but he put a lot of work, especially over winter break when he was sick with the flu too. So he put hundreds of hours and he knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Sergeant at Arms.
Shout out Senator McNulty. Sad to see you go. Thank you for your service, though. And shout out to everyone up front for working so hard and everyone here as well in Senate.
Hey, okay, shout out the offices. I love my deputies. I also love Anna. Hey. Shout out Ashley. Oh my God. Big week, 6th day on the job. We're doing great. I'm keeping track. Also, shout out to SBA. We're doing really good with the Eternal Nights proclamations. From what I've read, all the ones that I've read so far have been really good. Also, shout out McNulty. Thank you for everything you've done. Also, not a senator. Shout out my boyfriend. Our 3-year anniversary is big jump. Our 3-year anniversary is tomorrow. So.
Shout out the SLC Dream Team. Me and Kirsten, we're doing it somehow.
Rose, Varela, and then Sivan, and then me. Then we're done.
Shout out to our sports teams for bringing home the win in soccer and then bringing home the spiritual win in volleyball, especially David clutching up on the goalie position.
Shout out to the GAMP committee for all their hard work over the last semester and a half. I say a half because they worked over the break, which is a lot to ask. I know I'm very sorry I made you all do that, but I'm really appreciative. I hope you all have had a fulfilling experience staring at bills, hundreds of them for many hours. I know I had an experience doing it, so I hope you all had a great time doing it too. Shout out to leadership, was always super cool. Really rode a tight ship, which I appreciate. Shout out to Senator Zivin for offering me a cough drop, desperately needed. And shout out to the flu for almost offing me. That was rough, guys. Don't get the flu. Don't do it.
Shout out Grace Rudy. I miss her. I miss my roommate. Shout out to Owls, if you know, you know. And shout out to Grampy, of course.
Okay, so shout out all of you. We had a lot of caucusing again, and it's only 9:41.
Boom. Also, shout out to McNulty. Hate to see you go. This is so sad, but thank you for everything you've done, and I hope you have the best time at day at the Capitol. It's gonna be so fun. Shout out to our sports teams. I'm so sorry I've not gone to a single soccer or volleyball one. I might make it next week. Shout out Anna. Shout out Grace. Shout out Jimmy. Shout out Ryan. Shout out Anthony. I really appreciate you. What are you doing here? Shout out all of the chairs. Shout out all of Senate exec. I adore you guys. And shout out our new leadership. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Shout out to the new name tags I have to buy. It's a great day. Shout out Ashley. You have been amazing. 6 days here. You're doing great. I've seen you running around all day, and I really appreciate you. And Maite, I love you so much. I adore you. I think that's it. No, also shout out, wait, you're also leadership, but shout out Casimiro. He sent the nicest message to me on Thanksgiving. What are you looking at? Shout out our new senator. Hello. You blend in so well, I didn't even realize you were new anymore. You're already fitting in. I think that's it. Great job, guys. Hamid's Habitat.
Okay, guys, big day. Okay, so this is Eli Reed's dog, Willow. Hey. I don't know what her breed is, but she looks cute. Okay, so her morning routine includes going on a long walk around Anna's neighborhood and getting a pup cup from Dunkin'. And I picked these 3 photos. Anna sent me like 10,000, and it was a hard pick. But I really like the one on the right because she looks like she's 2 apples tall.
Okay, cute.
She's a golden doodle.
I've met Willow once, and I'm actually terrified of her. It's a golden doodle. It's scary. Lipner.
Oh, motion to adjourn pending final roll call?
There's been a motion to adjourn pending final roll call. In a second, any objections? Hearing none, Chair Gaudio.
Paul.
Present.
Reed.
Present.
Olivia Smith.
Present.
Hagenbuch.
Present.
Casimiro.
Present.
Callis.
Present.
Ariza.
Present.
Cabanos.
Present.
Lim.
Present.
Pison.
Present.
Sadvika.
Present.
Jane.
Present.
Sherman. Present. Danae Smith.
Present.
Ali.
Present.
D.
Present.
Malik. Orwela.
Present.
Hamid.
Present.
Kaufman.
Present.
Licht.
Present.
Metellus. Oh. McNulty.
Present.
Rocasa. Rose.
Present.
El Haq.
Present.
Fawcett. Rickett.
Present.
I am here. Escobar. Macadia.
Present.
Rodriguez.
Present.
Longin.
Present.
Hassanein.
Present.
Phillips.
Present.
Green. Wynn.
Present.
Bonaventure.
Present.
Perez.
Present.
Alcuda. Benesh. Candeloro.
Present.
Courts.
Present.
Jones.
Present.
Leon.
Present.
Matthews.
Present.
McRae.
Present.
Nursimadevra.
Present.
Renda.
Present.
Gonzalez.
Present.
Simmons.
Present.
Teodorescu.
Present.
Varela.
Present.
Zivin.
Present.
Lipner.
Present.
55 out of 58.
All right, I hereby adjourn this meeting at 9:45 p.m. Get home safe, guys. Make sure you put those pieces of paper in the recycling if you're not taking them home.